It is your boy T with another Have You Seen That with T movie review, and today I'm reviewing Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. And finally, here we are, the end of the DCEU Extended Cinematic Universe, or however they were calling it, before the beginning of James Gunn reimagined DC Universe. And Aquaman 2 finished off the ship. Like, it was the last thing jumping off that sinking ship that was the DCEU. Of course, we had the Flash earlier this year, which underperformed significantly. I don't think Aquaman 2 is going to overperform because of the, Rotten Tomatoes. When I went and saw it, I think it was sitting at 33% rotten. What we have here with Aquaman 2 is, months after the events of Aquaman 1 or years after, I'm not exactly sure. Arthur and Mera have a baby. He's the king of Atlantis now, and now he's understanding the politics of being king, and it bores him, right? And then enter Black Manta, who is spectacularly played by Yahya Abdul Mateen. He is fantastic in this movie. I think that he elevates the movie a lot past just terrible for me, because he is not just a one-note comic book villain. He has his reasons for doing what he's doing. And of course, there's other powers at play that kind of give him the power to stand up to Aquaman without giving too much spoilers. But there is a lost kingdom, and that's where he gets some of that power from. And there's a lot of Dolph Lundgren in this movie, which I thought was very peculiar to me. I understand why, because of course Amber Heard, who plays Queen Mera, she's been going through the legal issues and the public perception issues of her over the last few years. Between her, with her in that toxic relationship with Johnny Depp that became very public. And while she was in the movie, I want to say she might have had 5 lines the entire movie. She kind of sat in a lot of scenes looking like a puppet, almost looking like a CGI version of Amber Heard in the movie, which I thought to be kind of funny watching it. Jason Momoa is kind of getting into a groove now, understanding who he is as an actor. After seeing him in Fast X, and then seeing this, he's kind of just in this groove of understanding who he is, understanding his roles in these movies, and the fun that he brings to it. And he kind of makes fun of himself a lot in these movies, of being like a bro or a dude. It made the movie better to me. I don't want to completely dump on the movie. It's not a perfect movie by any stretch of the imagination. But what I felt when I left the movie theater was this was the most comic book movie that I think I've ever seen. And what I mean by that is that it was very childish, very cartoonish. A lot of the action sequences, a lot of the dialogue was, just adolescent, I guess you can say. And not saying comic books are only for adolescents, but it just felt very comic-y. It didn't feel never felt like there were any real stakes. It just felt like a comic book movie. If DC had made this into an animated movie, it probably would have been just as good. It just felt like a comic book movie, and I feel like we've kind of lost sight of that. I think everyone wants Shakespeare. They want Hamlet on the screen with superheroes. I think we're past that at this point. I don't think too many movies can have a very serious tone other than like The Batman. I think that if Aquaman had taken that serious tone, I would have probably checked out after about 15 minutes. But he kind of understood who he is. He understands what he is in the grand scheme of comic things. And he owns it in the movie. They make light of a lot of the different quirks of being Aquaman and talking to fish and things of that nature. But at the end of the day, I think that it's a pretty serviceable movie. I went and saw it on IMAX. I love seeing movies in IMAX. It's a beautifully shot movie, so there are some CGI issues towards the end of it. It gets a little hokey. I thought it was a fun ride, right? And a lot of people criticized the Marvels because a lot of people were defending it, saying it was fun. And nobody seems to want a fun comic book movie anymore, which defeats the purpose of it being a comic book movie in my mind. Every movie can't be Winter Soldier. Every movie can't tell a political espionage thriller type story. Every movie is not going to be Iron Man 1, or every movie is not going to be Iron Man 2 for that fact. This was just a fun movie. It wasn't grounded in anything but its silliness. Patrick Wilson was in this movie, and I thought he was fantastic coming back as his brother Orin. And it was this real brother story, which I thought was told. I thought that was the best part of the movie, was telling that story of Aquaman not being this loner and kind of finding someone who can help him. And he doesn't have to do it all alone. It should have probably been Mera, but I think it was rewritten to push her off to the side without killing her off. I don't think that was necessary. I thought that was going to come in the movie without providing any spoilers. It doesn't. So if you go into the movie just to see Amber Heard get killed, she doesn't get killed. That is a spoiler, but it shouldn't be a spoiler because I guarantee you the whole internet would have been talking about that before the movie came out. But here we are, Aquaman 2 in Lost Kingdom, the end of the DCEU. Let's move on. Let's get to Gods and Monsters. What did you think of Aquaman 2? What did you think of Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom? Do you think the movie needed to get lost? I enjoyed it. I didn't think it was terrible. I'm pretty sure there are a lot of people dumping on it now, kind of like they were dumping on Flash, kind of like they were dumping on the Marvels. I thought that it was a serviceable comic book movie. Should you be rushing out during the Christmas holiday to go see this movie? Probably not. But if you could catch it on a matinee the week after Christmas, the weekend after New Year's, definitely check it out on a big screen. I love the wonders of seeing Marvel and DC movies on the big screen. It kind of pulls me into it, in which a movie like Rebel Moon, which I also saw this weekend, watching it on the smaller screen pulled me a little bit away from it. So definitely, if you're a comic book guy, if you enjoy comic book movies, if you enjoyed the first Aquaman, I thought this one was in line with the first Aquaman. There were a lot of people who loved the first Aquaman, and I thought it was just okay. But this movie really falls in line with that first Aquaman. But if you've seen it, go ahead in the comments, let me know what you thought of this movie. Did you enjoy it? Are you glad that they're rebooting the entire DCEU? And let me know what you're most excited about in that first chapter of Gods and Monsters. Till next time, oh yeah, last thing before I go, next Wednesday, December 28th, I'm going to be doing my very first live stream, 5 p.m. Mountain Time, which is my time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be doing it with my boy Kenny Sparks. We're just going to talk about the year 2023. We're just going to bring it all to a close. We'll kind of give a year and wrap up. And I'm really excited about that. It's my first live stream. If you subscribe to the channel, definitely come check me out. Say hey, throw some questions out there. Tell me what your top 10 movies of the year have been. And then we'll just get to chop it up and talk about movies and talk about the movies of 2023. But until next time, I'll catch you. It is your boy T. One more time. Have You Seen That with T? Like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Check me out on Facebook and the Have You Seen That with T Facebook group, which I'm trying to get back off the ground. And of course, that Have You Seen That with T podcast that streams on Apple Music and Spotify. Until next time, catch you later.